Today's show is sponsored by Kyrios Consulting. That is Kyrios with a Y, Kyrios. Real estate investing can be intimidating. That's why you don't do it alone. Kyrios Consulting gets you from no real estate to your first rental property. My friend Steve did it right here in New Hampshire, and he wants to help other Christians do the same. Visit consultingbykyrios.com. Again, that's with a Y, consultingbykyrios.com. No more excuses. The world needs more Christians with passive income, not more passive Christians. Make it happen. The link is in the description. All right, well, it looks like somebody ordered up a good, hot, steaming dish of attention. And, you know, what can I do? I'm just the humble waiter here. You know what I mean? I take the order. I got to serve it up. You know, maybe I'm not so great of a waiter. You know, I don't typically serve it up on demand. But sometimes, you know, when you're in that position and a VIP walks in the door, you just got to take their order. So here you go. Oh, yes. VIP in the house. Now, this is a tweet, and I did not see this tweet because I am blocked by the tweeter. And the tweeter, you know, of course, he doesn't name me, but this is most certainly about me. In fact, somebody sent it over to me. And he said, hey, is this guy tweeting about you? And, you know, I was like, well, I'm blocked. I don't know, but probably because I saw who it was who was doing the tweeting. And then he sent me the screenshot, and I was like, oh, yeah, 100%. 100%, definitely, and this is about me. So here is what he says. He says, overhearing the guys who spent 8 years unrepentantly reviling every evangelical leader they were suspicious of now wonder why they don't see unity and fraternity in their own ranks is something else. And then he puts a little South Park meme. It might be your fault. I'm unfamiliar with South Park, so I don't know if it's an appropriate meme for the situation or not. I don't know. But then he goes, and just a reminder, if they do it with you, they'll do it to you. Now here's this guy, and this is deeply personal. You know, he doesn't name me, but it's about me, obviously. It's about the situation with James White and Jeff Durbin. This was posted yesterday, and yesterday. And it's definitely about me. It's one of those things that it's too specific to be anybody else, but not specific enough to really get called on it. Well, I don't care. I'll call you on it anyway. It doesn't matter if you have a little wiggle room to say, oh, it wasn't really about you. You know, that's the weasel thing. That Big Eva, it's just standard operating procedure for Big Eva. They don't name you so that they always have a little wiggle room and they can say stupid things like, well, you know, if you throw a rock into a pack of dogs, the one that got hit is the, you know, whatever. The one that yelps is the one that got hit. You know, that kind of thing. Maybe I messed that up. Did I mess up? I might have messed up that saying. I don't know. But as usual, this guy has absolutely no idea what he's talking about. He's totally clueless and just as effeminate as ever. I mean, this is one of the single most effeminate people in Big Eva in history. And I know. I mean, you take it from me. I know him personally. And you know, I've seen his effeminate ways in real time. And the thing is that at the time when I saw his effeminate ways, they always struck me as effeminate, but I was just a wide-eyed optimist, you know. I was like a cockeyed optimist, like Billy Mumphrey, you know what I mean? I didn't know any better, so I just assumed this is how it worked. But looking back on it, now I'm thinking, yeah, you know, those initial feelings that I had where I thought I was just a clueless guy, I didn't know how things really worked and stuff like that, you know, I was just naive to it. No, I was actually right. My instincts were right the first time around. So I've seen this guy in action, one of the most effeminate people around. But it's okay, man. You can name me. I'm not afraid. But what I wanted to point out about this is not really so much to defend myself, but also just to show you how they operate. You know, it's very cowardly. They won't name you. And the other thing is, they will speak about things that they have no clue about. When they sense an opportunity to score some points, you know, they want to score some purity points, and that's very important in evangelical, liberal kind of Big Eva, reformed-ish type circles. You know, you got to get those purity points, because God forbid that anyone thinks that you're connected to something a little bit off. You know, if you're connected a little bit off, you might get too dirty, and you're reformed, gaggles of women and effeminate men, although I repeat myself there, They might not like you anymore if you're not pure enough for them. And so they will take any shot. They will deliver any low blow. Doesn't matter if they know the situation or they don't know the situation. This is how they operate. You got to get those all important purity points when you're in these kinds of circles. I'll never forget this one time when he was telling me about how he couldn't post certain pictures online. These weren't like salacious pictures or anything bad at all. Because, he doesn't want certain people to think that he does certain things and stuff like that. And this is all nonsense. This is like kindergarten stuff. It's not like he was filmed, somewhere with another woman or something like that. That would be salacious and wrong. And of course, I totally understand why you wouldn't want to be connected to that kind of behavior. It was something very stupid and very basic and all of that kind of thing. But no. Those purity points, though, you got to collect those purity points. You never know when you're going to be able to cash those in. You won't be able to get invited to the conferences if you don't have enough of those purity points. The women that follow you and that fawn over your stupid, idiotic, inane takes. That's just like base level stuff again and again. I mean, they're not going to fawn over that. Maybe you won't get the book deals where you write the same book again and again and again and again and again. And maybe you nuance it a little bit, but it's the same presentation again and again and again. They're not going to buy the book next time if you're not pure enough. So you got to collect those purity points. That's how it works in this system. So they'll take any opportunity to score those purity points against you, and so that's I wanted to show you that, but also I wanted to also show you how clueless a lot of these people are, and also to offer some advice, because I think that there's something instructive here that we can all kind of take to heart. Because here's what he's saying. He's saying that we used to have this tight-knit group of reviling people, and we used to talk together to revile the evangelical leaders that we were suspicious of, and maybe we gathered into dark rooms together to talk about it and stuff like that. And now there are some private signal chats and things like that I'm involved with, but here this guy thinks that James White was part of that and Jeff Durbin was part of that and all that kind of stuff. It's just not the case at all. It's just not the case at all, but he thinks we were all together doing it, and now there's all kinds of disunity and stuff because, I posted the thing about, hey, we really don't need this. We really don't need this in Reformed life. We don't really need to shun people and not be able to share the stage with people. We don't need this. He doesn't really understand what's going on. He has no clue. This guy's clueless. But he thinks that now there's disunity in the ranks. And the reality is that's not the case at all. In fact, I saw so many people respond to this kind of thing, and this one in particular, but also other things, saying, what is he talking about? There's not disunity. And I would agree. I think that, for the most part, there's a lot of unity. There's a lot of friendliness and things like that. So much so that when there isn't, for example, like when I won't share the stage with Stephen Wolf. By the way, Stephen Wolf wasn't even involved in any of the alleged unrepentant reviling of every evangelical leader. That's not what he was. He wasn't a part of that stuff. But side issue, I mean, this guy's completely clueless, but that's okay. That's okay. But there's so much unity that in my opinion, that when somebody does that kind of thing in our circles, I'm not talking about Big Eva. That's not us. You know what I mean? That's not part of our circles. But in our circles, when somebody does that kind of thing, or signals, or Doug Wilson signals against, the right-wing people online and stuff like that, it is like, it's exceptional. And we take issue with it, and we don't like it, and we say things like, hey, we don't need this. We love you, we like you, but we don't need this kind of thing. It's actually the exception of the rule in our circles. That being said, I do want to make note of something. To liberals like this, and to alleged conservatives of the more liberal variety, to people like this, we're all the same. You know what I mean? Like, we're all in the same group. That's his whole premise here. That's his whole premise. There's division in the ranks. And so to him, I'm the same as James White. I'm the same as Jeff Durbin. I'm the same as Doug Wilson. I'm the same as, probably Tom Askell. All these guys, we're all the same to them. You know what I mean? We've got the good guys, that's us, but from their perspective, we're the bad guys. And then the bad guys, that's them. From their perspective, they're the good guys. We're the same. We're a team. That's what they think. So it doesn't matter how much you distance yourself from someone like me or Steven or Joel. as long as you're going against the zeitgeist, as long as you're going against what they're up to, the purity points thing that they're doing, you're part of us. So why don't, if you're already part of us, why not act like it? And again, what I'm not saying is that you don't criticize, my beliefs or Stephen's beliefs or Joel's beliefs. All of that is good and healthy and needs to happen. In fact, I was talking to some people privately last night, and they said, man, how awesome would it have been if Jeff Durbin came to the conference and said, and pulled Stephen aside and said, Stephen, you're a smart guy. I can see that, you're a rational guy. You're a very, warm person, because he is. I mean, as simple as that. What's the deal with your online, behavior? What do you got against James? What do you, wouldn't that have been awesome? Or even from the stage, it didn't have to be private. It could have been from the stage. And I'm confident that if something like that happened on the stage, I think that would have been very beneficial to the church. In fact, I think Stephen would have taken it in stride, and he probably would have explained himself, and you could have heard where he's coming from. And maybe, just maybe, it would have lowered the temperature just a little bit, so that we could work better together. You know what I mean? I think that kind of stuff would be perfect. You see, you don't play the purity point game that effeminates like this play. This guy's whole life is built around the purity game. He gets those purity points, those sweet, sweet purity points, and he cashes it in for the next idiotic book about the same thing he's written about every time. It's the same exact book. Why would anyone buy it? It's the same thing every time. And I know they take it as a point of honor to write the same book over and over and over again. Oh, all I want to know is the gospel. That's it. That's all I want to know. And listen, love the gospel books. I love it. But the thing is, we've got a lot of other things we got to do. And if that's not, clear right now, yes, the gospel, it's always going to be the message that saves souls. It's always going to be the power of God unto salvation. It's always going to drive every single thing we do. The good news of the Lord Jesus Christ, he's on his throne. He rules and reigns from on high at the right hand of the Father. That's always going to drive everything we do, but we actually have to know what else we need to be doing. Like, what are the good works that the gospel saves us to? Saved unto good works. And where the dearth of where the gap is in what we need right now are some tactical and strategic and some practicality to the good works that we are supposed to be accomplishing here on earth. So many of us know the gospel, but wonder, what do we do when the teacher is trying to trans my kids? What do we do when the teachers, maybe they're not trying to trans my kids because I'm too smart, I've got them home with me, when they're trying to trans my neighbor's kids? What do we do about it? What are the tactical, strategic, practical things that we can do? What can we do? And I'm pretty sure the next book that comes out is not going to be helpful from this guy, because he's cashing in those purity points, those sweet, sweet, sweet purity points, to write the same book in different color again and again and again. Guys, don't play the purity points game. I'm telling you, it's no good. It doesn't lead anywhere good. Don't play the purity points game. They're never going to look at you differently just because you're a little more pure and you're not dirtied by any kind of possible association with Stephen Wolf. It's not going to profit you anything. These guys do not care about that. They think you're the same. You're the same because you don't play. Jeff, you're the same as Stephen to guys like this because you don't play their game. Dr. White, you're the same as Stephen to them because you don't play their game. We all know this. And so criticize, sharply criticize. I appreciate all of that kind of stuff. I love that kind of stuff. I think it's healthy. I think it's good. I think it's necessary. But don't play the purity points game. It will get you nowhere. It'll get you nowhere. And if you keep playing the purity points game, before long, this is your future. This. Let me show you. Hold on. I'm telling you, it's not a future that you want to see. It isn't. This. It's right here. This is your future. Don't play the game, man. That's the only way to win. The only way to win is to not play the game. Not the rig game anyway. Play a different game. In any case, hope you found this helpful. God bless.
es mi amor.